what's up, everybody? This is the 40 and Over experience. I am your host, that Jersey girl, La Femme Fatale, Nia B, straight from Paterson, New Jersey. Woo, woo. We're here with another episode of Candid Conversations with my aunties and OGs.
Why you look at me?
Because we aunties.
Oh, am I?
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah,
40
technically
over.
you are.
We aunties and OGs.
I guess.
Aunties and OGs from the 40 and over demographic that have a lot to talk about, experiences, our different life journeys, everything that
A little bit of everything, yeah.
There we go. I'm starting to get the Holy Ghost.
It's starting to kick in.
It's starting.
Okay.
So we're joined today with I would say a different type of panel, but maybe not, because the last two episodes we had gentlemen here.
Yeah.
Because me and my girlfriend to the right, which I will introduce in a second, we tend to have the same perspective. Anyhow, I am joined today on the panel by my good girlfriend to the right.
It's Nay, BK Nay from Brooklyn. How are you?
And over here to the left, we have comedian Red.
What's going on, everybody? Comedian Red Carson. How you doing?
And Mr. Marvelous.
Marvelous the Frenchie. How you doing? How you doing?
And to our far left, we have, you want to introduce yourself? Mr.
Yes.
Rick.
Taverick Devon Parker III.
Oh.
Nah, not the third. I'm joking. There's no third.
Strong
Just
J.
sound good. Don't.
Strong
Taverick
J.
Parker, a.k.a. Rick, a.k.a. Raleigh Ray. From where you from, Patterson?
Patterson, New Jersey.
I'm from D.C. A little bit of down south mixed in. Spent some time down there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So why don't we say where we're from? Because
Yeah.
by way of Brooklyn, by way of Jersey, by way of D.C., by way of...
I am in D.C. by way of Las Vegas, however, originally from Queens, New York.
Oh, okay.
What
Okay.
part?
Out of that uptown
Corona,
energy in
no
the building.
virus.
Corona. Okay. Far Rockaway.
Big salute, 101st in New York.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it looks
Right
like
there.
DC's
All right.
outnumbered. I hope we don't eat you up. Oh, no.
I can handle it.
All right. So today we are going to dive into another controversial topic. But first, can I just say something?
Go ahead.
Because
I'm dying to get into this topic.
I posted on TikTok, which I would encourage everybody to follow us on all social media channels, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at the 40 and Over Experience, which will be probably showcased at the bottom. However, I posted a snippet of episode 3, part 2, where we were talking about alpha, beta, sigma archetypes, gender archetypes.
Male and female archetypes.
Right. So I posted a snippet. I don't even think it was 30 seconds, to be quite honest.
Very quick.
About my personal opinion about how the black woman is the least protected, but the most powerful. How we're always sort of looked at as the weaker sex compared to the hierarchy of white men, white women, black men, black women. That's my motherfucking opinion. I don't know if I'm supposed to curse this early on in the thing, but I really don't give a
It's
fuck.
in
Tell us
there.
how you really feel,
Bleep it
friend.
all
Tell us how
out.
you really feel.
I put a snippet up there, right? Less than 30 seconds, about 30 seconds, whatever you want to call it. When I tell you I got so many black men's panties in a bunch, and I'm going to preface by saying it's not because they had panties. All the 48 of y'all motherfuckers that was in my comments have panties on, and you had them in a bunch. And they had them in a bunch. And so it provoked this topic of the gap between, well,
Black
I
men
won't
and
say,
black women?
well, I think it's all men and women. I don't think it's just black men and women. But although all of the ones that were in my comments were black men.
There's a
So
larger gap in the black community, I think.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I'll say that.
So my topic today is about the male and female disconnect. You know, building gaps instead of bridges. And why do we do that?
Yeah.
And where does that come from? And just thinking about it, I started, kind of diving a little bit deeper into it and thinking about what does that mean for gender roles? What does that mean for stereotypes when it comes to the stereotype of a black man and a black woman? So we'll just stick with that demographic because it's an over 40 experience and clearly we're all passing.
Melanated people.
So my first question to everybody is, do you think there is a gap Or is this something that is a perception narrated by social media?
Right.
Do you believe that there is a large gap, whether it's in communication, stereotypes, gender roles, when it comes to black men and women? I really want to know everybody's opinion.
There's
So
a gap.
let's start with our guests over here.
There's a gap. There's a huge gap, and I won't blame it on social media. I'll go a little further back than that, right? And I don't want to go down a wormhole about.
No, go ahead. We got time.
But I will going back to when the welfare system started allowing black women or women to, maintain a household, or even giving them somewhere to live as long as there wasn't a man there, right? And I'll fast forward to now where social media does play a part. But real life stuff plays a part too, right? There's an economic gap, right now between black men and black women. And so, I mean, it's a plethora of things that I think are creating a gap, really. So I think there is a real gap.
Okay.
There's a real gap.
So you think it's not made up in our heads? It's
Not
actually there.
It's there.
Okay. What about you, Rhett?
There's definitely a gap. I feel that social media has an influence in it, but I don't feel that social media is the
root cause.
It's
not the root cause
thing or the major disconnect. I think it just amplifies the disconnect.
Yeah.
And when you read some of the comments by men and women, you get to see which areas that they're zoning in on specifically. So it's just, it depends on what's in your algorithm, actually.
Yeah.
Because I say, if I look at a white person's phone, I don't think they have the same algorithm that we do.
You'd be surprised. They may.
So can I ask him a question?
Of course.
What do you think in real, let's take social, what do you think is causing the real gap that you say exists?
I would say something that contributes a major factor into the gap, I believe, in the way that just people were raised, or a lack of being raised properly. Whether that is a result of not having both parents in the household, or not necessarily a parent or relative, influential member, somebody to show you the correct way about life, to implement certain things in you, morals, values, things of that nature. So if you don't have that, when you grow up and you get into relationships only highlight the things that you were lacking, as an individual, so to speak.
Right.
It's my personal opinion.
Well, that's a good question. I don't think we'll ever really get to the root cause of the gap. I think we're way past that. And so we should start to create that dialogue, to create that bridge that she's talking about, right? Because if we it's always good to try to find the source in order to help you with the solution. But in this case, we're so far gone that we'll continue the cycle if we don't just focus on the solution, right? And so that's what I try to tell anybody that I dialogue with is, okay, we know that there's an issue. We know that there are many sources to said issue and many amplifications to that said issue. But what are we going to do to fix it?
Right.
Because this is not sustainable. It's not sustainable for our culture. It's not sustainable for our DNA, our society, anything. And so if we're going to make any sort of change, we definitely need to start talking about those bridges.
Yeah, 1,000%.
But what is it? Can we define what it is and then find the solution? Do you feel like, so what do you think from everybody, what do you think are some of the issues that are causing the gap?
Communication. Honestly, let's look in the mirror. Communication. It's a you problem. It's a me problem. It's how I dialogue with you, how I interact with you. It's how I perceive what you're saying to me, right? So communication is key. And I think that that's one of the foundational problems that we have.
Can I jump in for a second? I'd say communication, but also a communication comprehension. Because I can sit here and talk to you till I'm to them these color walls in the face. But if you're not getting it, you're not getting it. Yeah. And I'm doing everything within my power to know how to effectively communicate this with you, but you're not getting it. So I think comprehension is a major factor as well.
Agreed.
They said common sense ain't common to everybody.
No, sure that's true. And just because you have book sense doesn't mean you have common sense.
Well,
That part.
some people don't even got book sense, but that's a whole nother topic. Okay. I think for me, I think accountability
There you
is
go.
Oh,
causing the
yes.
gap. I think no one wants to take accountability for their own actions, and we can put it all together, right? I'm communicating what I need from you, but I'm not comprehending what that is. So I'm not taking accountability for what I need to do to bridge the gap in the communication and the comprehension. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I just feel like a lot comes from accountability.
But do you have the circle of people around you to keep you accountable, right? Because the argument that someone always had with me is, oh, black women don't hold each other accountable. I said, I don't know what kind of black women you hang around, but my circle, if I'm not moving properly, she gonna call me out.
So
She's
let me
gonna
ask y'all a
tell
question.
me I
Oh,
need
no,
to
I'm sorry.
straighten up and fly right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
No, go ahead.
And so that doesn't make sense to me. How are you walking around not holding yourself accountable and not having a circle of people that hold you accountable? But you were gonna ask a question?
Y'all using a lot of big words for me. Communication, accountability, right? Give me an example of being accountable. Can somebody where somebody's not being accountable? Because I hear these words all the time: accountability and communication, but what are we talking about specifically when we say accountabiliability? Like,
So for me, I can give an example
ahead.
because I have
Let's
many
get to it.
many?
accountability.
Is it a story
examples.
time?
Is it many? Is it many for you, or is it many that you?
No, because I'm perfect.
Okay. I wanted to get to that. That's where I wanted to get to. Okay.
No, but so I'm very in tune with my feelings. I've said it before, and say it again. I am a Cancer. I am a true Cancer.
I'm a Cancer too.
When's your birthday?
June 28th.
Oh, you almost made it to July though.
Nah, we
but
the
I'm
real
still
deal.
gonna
But we good.
accept you.
Yeah.
You are okay. I'm July 6th.
Y'all
Okay,
kind of,
well-
you know.
Why do
slid in
zodiacs do that?
Y'all
Like,
slid
break
in
each
there.
other down into months. Like, oh no, you're so and so.
That's
No,
what. That's
because
what
you have to
the
do
real
it based
Cancers. But anyway, that's
on.
another.
Okay, that's a
yeah,
whole nother topic.
another
We'll talk
day.
about zodiacs
Yeah,
in
yeah,
another
yeah, yeah.
episode. So accountability for me is if I communicate to you that I'm feeling a certain type of way about what I'm experiencing in a relationship with that person. Okay. You may not feel the way that I feel, but if I am saying, okay, you do this, and this to make me feel this way, that's why I feel this way. Mm-hmm. And so let's just make it a real accountable moment. You're not spending enough time with me because a lot of times in working class America, I think that's a lot of women's complaints. I have plenty of women that I know that are like, oh, he works all these jobs or he's doing all this, that, and the third, but you want him to be a provider, so he has to work, right?
I'm glad you said that.
So you got to take accountability that you asked for a man that could provide, and therefore what comes with that is what? Time where he can't spend with you.
Yeah. There's no Victor Newmans walking around out here.
So if you communicate to that person, I'm not spending time with you. I need more time. Let's use that scenario. I need more time. You're not spending time with me. You're always working this, that, and the third. She needs to take accountability for the fact that he has to be a provider. And he needs to take accountability for the fact that he may need to put in a bigger effort to make her feel like she is comfortable.
Okay.
Right? So maybe you can't go out every week, but you could carve a day out of 30 days to make your partner feel like they're wanted or feel like they're spending time with you. Now, in each scenario, that's going to be different, right? Because it could be that he does carve out that time and she's like, no, now I want more. That's not realistic.
And she's not, to me, not to cut you off, I don't know if she really knows what she wants. Does she want a provider? Or does she want somebody because it's not always the same person, right? A provider may not be able to spend as much time as you need. Mm-hmm. You need to know how much time you actually need from a person, right?
Pause for 1 second, because if they come in here, I'm about to really go.
No, they went back to
okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Pick back up.
No, so I'm just saying sometimes people, who doesn't want a provider? Mm-hmm. Let's say that, right? But in the hierarchy of things, do you really know what you want? Is the question I'm asking. Because if you say you want a provider, and I am that, and now I say, okay, you say carve out some time, and I do that, and then you say, well, I need more time, then I got to say, well,
maybe I'm not the one for you.
Right.
That part.
But see, I'm different because I don't want a lot of time.
Right.
I want time, but I don't want a whole lot of time. I said this before. Like I want to be in a relationship, but then I want to be single at the same time.
Right.
Or I want
That pretty
distance.
much describes dating in 2024.
Right. I want distance, but then I want you to be all over me at the same time. All over me at the same time.
Basically,
How does that
you want to
work,
be in a
though?
relationship, but you
Right.
want to
How
be
does
single
that
too.
work?
How does
They got-
that-
No, I was
are
kidding
these
about the
twins you're
single
dating?
part.
Yeah, like how does that work?
So there has to be a balance. I say that because there needs to be a balance. I don't need to be with a man every single day to feel like I'm in a relationship.
Right.
Do I need some sort of communication every day? Probably. But do I need you to call me 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 times a day? No, I don't.
Who's
Do I
calling you
need to
that many
see you?
times a day?
Then believe me.
No, we
They
just talked
call.
about me. We just talked about that on the way here. Like, I know some people that stay on the phone all day at work.
Yes. I don't
I
get
can't
it.
do
Like,
it. I
are y'all talking
cannot
about?
sit on the phone with you all day at work. And if you need that,
That's not me.
Yeah.
I can't.
Because
you know.
what the hell are we gonna talk about when I see you?
Right.
Like we done
Right,
spent
there's
all day on the
nothing
phone. I know
left.
everything that
But
just
I mean,
happened.
I'm not knocking those people, right? I'm just saying I cannot. I can't
those
do
people
that.
live.
Some,
I'm
but
just
there
saying,
are
we're talking
some
about
people,
for
right?
us, no, yeah.
Right.
What
Some
are we-
people
what are we
do
gonna-
require
What are
that.
we gonna speak about when we actually do see each other face to face? We've been speaking to each other all day.
Yeah.
I know about the bitch that pissed you off before you went into your meeting at 10 a.m. I know how that Chipotle had your stomach fucked up because I heard it.
Right. Right.
Last night.
You know what I'm saying? No, while you was at work. And that's why you had to leave early, and that's why you in my face right now. And I ain't get my full 8 hours away
Right.
from your ass.
Oh my
But
goodness.
that's yeah.
Yeah. Oh no.
I think that's part
couldn't
of.
do
I think
that.
that's also part of the reason why our grandparents' relationships lasted so goddamn long because they didn't have cell phones.
Yeah,
They
that-
didn't have
talk
the
about-
ability to do a
Right.
lot of stuff we can do now. How about
Yeah.
that?
Right.
But I'm saying they actually had to go hours without talking to each other. Grandpa couldn't scroll down Facebook and see what your grandmama talking
Right.
about at work and
Right.
piss it off. You can't see these work selfies
Right.
and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
They didn't have all that back then. So it was a you could literally go across the road and have a whole nother family and they wouldn't know.
Well,
It's true.
that's why
Technology's
we all
crazy.
kissing cousins around here.
I'm not from these parts. Speak for yourself.
Right.
So I get it. I think
grateful.
I understand a little better what accountability means. Because again, sometimes I hear these words and I'm like, give me an example of what you're talking about, so I can, I can relate better.
So what do you think is one of the gaps?
So on a high level, I think this is the gap, So this is black women, and I'm proud of black women. They're here, right? Mm-hmm. They getting their education, they making their money, they're taking care of these kids, right? And the brothers are here, right? And it's I won't even get to why we here, but let's just say we
No,
here.
let's
get to
why,
why we
why,
here.
are, why are you there? Not you per
Because the
se.
white man.
Yeah, nah, I don't really go down sometimes, but not all the time.
So
So
Malcolm shades.
yeah.
Malcolm frames. I thought you was about to get into it.
I think black women, right, were raised by black women. And so they were taught that you need to be able to take care of your family because I don't have any help here, right? So that's what they teach the women, that you got to go out here, you got to get your education, you got to get a good job because you got to take care of your family, right? And I speak from my own experience because I have a son, right? I'm a single dad. And I know his mother, this guy can eat in his room, leave it all there. He will look up 2 minutes later and it will be gone, right? And I know if she had a daughter, she would never do that, right? So that's just one example. So I say that to say they raised the women to go out here and be productive and be able to take care of her family, right? They let the, kind of, if it wasn't for me, my son, he wouldn't be on the path he's on. And I have to say that. And she knows that because she just babied him, right?
Is that her only child?
She just had another son recently, but
Okay.
yeah,
But he's
for
in-
16 years.
Okay, so
That was
he's
the
been
only
the
child.
only
Yes,
one the whole
yes,
time.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, long story short, I feel like black men got to step up. We got to step up,
Okay.
right? Because y'all here, right? But at the same time, y'all got to bring it down a notch because we ain't there yet. And you got to meet us somewhere. You got to accept the reality of it. We ain't there yet always.
But what does it,
On a lot of different levels, we just not there. We weren't groomed to be there. And I'm not speaking about, because there's a lot of guys out here handling their business, right? But it ain't enough. Let's be honest. It ain't enough.
So you're saying women need to lower their standards to meet a man where he is?
We was just talking off camera, right? You said
Okay.
$250. I said that's crazy.
So
But this is a
explain
very
that
small
context,
example.
though. Explain it because I don't want them eating me up.
So
in the
you said it was a
motherfucking
first
comments,
date,
man.
right? I'm just going. Well, they're gonna eat you up. The ones that's gonna
They
eat you
can
up gonna
eat.
eat you up, and they gonna eat me up. But that's cool, right? Because y'all tried to eat me up already. So $250 to me first date. I'm trying to go to Starbucks. I'm gonna just tell you the truth. I just want to talk. I might not like you.
No,
You might
there's
not like
nothing wrong with
me.
There we go.
You see what I'm saying? Why
they
did I
have
spend
not asked me to
$250
Starbucks.
to find
No,
out
you've never been asked to go
I
to
don't like
Starbucks?
you and you don't like me?
Tropical
Personally
smoothie?
speaking, I think that Starbucks dates for first dates are a great thing.
Yeah, what's
because
going on?
it is a totally neutral place. Number one,
Yes.
There's no alcohol, so I'm
Yes.
not going to try to feed you drinks so I can get in your pants.
Right.
It is a very neutral and safe space. It's well lit. There's different options that you can get. I just think to really sit down and get to know a person or whatever, I think within about 30 minutes you can understand if you're gonna go somewhere with the person or not. So why do I have to spend $250 or $300 for some freaking some nonsense, some king
You don't.
crab legs and all this goofy shit?
You don't.
when
Why
Is
is
that
it's the
goofy? Crab
when-
legs are not goofy, but go ahead.
I done hurt somebody's feelings with that. No, but it's like the experience. I'm the experience. You're supposed to be experiencing me.
Okay.
You're
I know
supposed
that's
to be
right.
experiencing each
I know
other.
that.
Right.
So
love
damn
that for
all
you.
this dumb shit for the gram because
Right.
that's what a lot of people
That's
really
what a
want to
lot
go
of
out
it is.
for. I'm not saying all women. I'm saying a lot of women. They want to go out just for that. And
For the
you know-
gram,
you
so they can tell their
And you know that
girlfriend.
they simply want to go out for the gram, but the experience because they'll sit there and take pictures and videos and act like they're there by them goddamn selves.
That's right.
It's not about you. It's about them and them showing whomever else or whatever. So going back to the whole Starbucks date, like you suggested,
$20.
whatever it is. Listen, I'm a gold member, so I get free refills. And stuff. You know what I'm saying? We can splurge, baby, for this.
Me too.
But no,
Love me some
realistically,
Starbucks.
you don't need that.
Just to establish if we like each other,
We
shouldn't
can
cost
build to
$250.
that. We can get to that because if you start at that, then what? Where we gonna go?
Well, let's say
Tropical
this,
smoothie.
okay? From a female perspective, men ain't asking women to go to Starbucks though. I have yet to meet one person that has given me an invitation to. Let me rephrase. Let me back up because I feel like my
you've never
brain.
had-
Go ahead.
You've never had a man invite you out for coffee.
I have not. I've never had a man invite me out for coffee. He has invited me to plenty of other things.
Right.
But coffee not being one of them.
Well,
right?
how would you respond to that? Do you know?
Oh, my mouth, the one thing about me, and it, there's no gray area with me.
No, I'm saying
Either-
there's no coffee dates. You wouldn't go on.
No,
a
I
coffee
will
date.
go on
Oh,
a coffee date, but I haven't been presented with
Okay.
that. I did go on a picnic,
Okay.
only to find out some information that I really didn't care to find out. But that was to lighten the blow, right? So he took me on a picnic. That was fine. I have
That story just sounds interesting.
no, because if I really get into that story.
I was trying to hold it in and then I
You
couldn't
You on a
anymore.
picnic to lighten
Oh
it
my
ain't that bad.
gosh.
Oh, it was
It ain't
bad.
that
bad.
It was bad because it started really great. Like, oh my God, this is really something. Then by the end of the,
She found out that all of the food that he prepared on the picnic was food that he had to get rid of because he was getting thrown out of his apartment.
no,
and shit. So
no.
he didn't want to throw
Oh,
it.
okay.
No,
He had some
that's-
rosé.
that's a
What
good
was
one,
the
though.
problem?
that was a great
was a good one.
ending sentence that was not true, but no.
Wrong wine.
Wrong wine? No, it had nothing to do
okay.
with the ambiance or the experience. It was the information that I was
Oh,
given
okay.
that almost landed me in jail. No, I can't tell the story.
Moving
I'm
on.
She
I'm
might
gonna tell
get
the story at a
incriminated
later
right
date.
now. Okay, she's still trying to
Yeah,
make sure
at a
she
later
passed
date.
the what is it?
What?
With the statute of limitations. Okay.
Criminals know these things. I got you.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I feel like men. Where are those men? Are you so okay?
Oh, I'm
explain
Starbucks.
to me.
All day.
So, how many dates are you taking to Starbucks? How many dates have you taken to Starbucks?
How many have agreed to go to Starbucks?
Okay, so explain that scenario. What
I
happens when
probably
you pick
asked 10
Starbucks?
people to go to Starbucks, and I had 4 people go to Starbucks. And the other people went out, but they was like Starbucks. And I was like, oh,
First
let's
date.
do some- Yeah. I don't even call that a date.
Right.
What is
Right,
it?
that's
A meet
just-
meet and greet.
Hey, I'm just trying to let's sit down and talk. And what better to talk over but a cup of coffee? If you sit
That's
here and
true.
we eating and we ordering food and this going on and that going on, how much dialogue are we really experiencing?
That's true.
Right?
That's why I don't go to movies. I don't like when people
Movies are
invite me
terrible
on a
first date, right.
movie.
Dinner or movies
No.
are terrible.
Yeah.
first date.
No, dinner is great.
No, it's
I don't
not.
think dinner's a great first date.
Why?
It's not.
I
'Cause
just
because
like I
everything you
said,
just
what are
said.
we doing? We're eating.
No.
What? Hey,
It
your
takes
mouth's
time for the
full,
food
and
to
we
come.
trying to talk about your career. Like
wants
over
to-
coffee,
who really wants
we
to
can
be
have a real
talking over full
conversation
stomach?
over coffee.
So first of all, why can't you? I'm not understanding why you can't have a real conversation over dinner. And it don't have to be dinner. I prefer brunch myself.
I just think there's a
For
lot
all
going on
the
at dinner that's
listeners
not
out
going
there.
on in a coffee date. I just feel like there's a lot going on.
Right.
Like
Light
what?
be all dim. I gotta see you in good lighting.
But if you take me to brunch, you can see me
Our,
perfectly.
you know,
If I take you to Starbucks, I can even see you better.
yeah.
So then you need to invite me out after the show.
You sound like you don't like coffee dates.
I do.
It's a lot of pushback.
I
It's a
like
lot of-
coffee. No, I do like coffee. What I'm trying to understand
You
is,
look like a
I just
latte
don't
girl.
think. I honestly don't feel like I need to spend $200.
but why is it a dollar amount? If you having a good time, why does the dollar amount?
Because it's my dollar. I don't want to
He's
spend
entitled
it
to
to get
spend
to
his
know.
money how he wants
I don't
to.
want to
Even
spend
if
it to
it's
get
my
to see if we don't. Let me tell you what happened since we having stories.
Mm-hmm.
I took somebody out on a date like we talking about. Because if I want to do that, I'll do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what she said when we finished and I paid that $320?
Where'd you take her?
Where'd we go? We was Maggiano's.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it up. Do you know what was said when she got up to leave?
Y'all drove separately?
Nah. Yeah, we drove separately.
Okay.
Yeah, we drove separately.
What did she say?
Thank you, but I don't think this is gonna work for me.
She knew
At the
that
end of
when
the
she
date?
got there.
She knew that when she got there.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
How many conversations did you have with her before then?
We had spoke a couple of times.
What's a couple?
A couple. Probably a couple.
Two?
Yeah. Yeah, let's say a couple. Yeah, let's say two. Let's say two.
What was the conversation like?
The conversation was good. I really think she might have had a situation. She just was out tonight. Maybe they having an issue, right? Something happened. Like, I don't know. And maybe she just didn't like me. I don't know. But again, I don't need to spend $320 to find that out.
And I agree.
You know?
But you could at least spend $97.
Or I could spend $25 and we could be like, you know what? Let's go out tomorrow and do it up because we had a good time here. We had a great conversation
Listen.
here at the Starbucks.
Let me be clear to the viewing audience and to my lovely panel here. I'm not a gold digging ass woman. That's not me. But I do enjoy the finer things in life, like crab legs. I enjoy them very much. But I
That's
wouldn't
why I
be
said Starbucks though, because that's
but
the
I wouldn't-
finer coffee.
I wouldn't
in
be
life.
opposed to Starbucks. Actually, you could take me to Dunkin' Donuts. We could keep it all the way
Okay.
funky.
See, I ain't
You can
even
take me
going to
to-
Dunkin'.
I'm not
I
in
ain't-
the trenches
Yeah,
today.
I ain't going
First
to
of
Dunkin'.
all, the trenches.
not in-
I ain't going to
you
Dunkin'.
hear?
You
Yeah,
went
I
too
hear.
low. You went too low.
No,
I ain't
baby.
doing
Let
Dunkin'.
me tell you.
No,
when you
because
was in
isn't
the
there-
tri-state area,
Dunkin' is
before
in
you
and
was
out.
So
Dunkin'
where
is
were
in and
y'all
out.
going before Starbucks?
I went slumming in my 20s.
Whatever.
My man. That's
Where
what
were y'all going before Starbucks?
I mean, I was in and out though.
Because
Bustelo,
everybody's
baby.
boycotting Starbucks now. You know that,
I
right?
feel like a caramel macchiato with whipped cream and extra caramel sauce.
Starbucks.
Oh yeah, Caribbean. We do Bustelo now.
But no,
With the
come on.
carnation milk.
No, let's
Yeah.
not.
No, but seriously, I'm saying sit
bef-
down. I'm not gonna ask you to go to Dunkin' Donuts.
No, but
You know
but
what I
what
mean,
I'm
but-
saying is,
Starbucks got a little better ambiance. Y'all like, what is that word? How do you say that word again?
Ambiance.
Yeah.
yeah, we
It's
do.
got a better ambiance than Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes,
Right?
but I like Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not saying.
Oh, but
what
if
I'm
you
saying
presented
is
that,
I'm
I'd
not-
be cool
but
with it.
Because what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I don't care if it's Starbucks or not.
Right.
You could take me to Dunkin' Donuts, which I do understand. Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts is just like, but we wasn't always there because back in the day, Dunkin' Donuts was the shit, was it
Can I
not?
give-
Before Starbucks
Yeah.
came in.
Can I give
No, I'm with you. I'm just presenting a place that I thought would be
I tell you what I think.
acceptable.
I tell you what
Yeah.
I think women really like because I've done this before.
What? What do we really like?
First off, so get in the car. Come on, let's go. You pick her up. You stop. You say, hey, listen, I gotta stop at Target. I gotta pick something.
You're not picking me up, but go ahead.
Give her her own shopping cart and say, baby, get what you need.
At Target?
Yes, at Target.
Oh.
You see? You see? You see?
That's not gonna happen.
Get what you,
Oh,
get what you,
wow.
get what you need. Get what you need. I'm gonna run over here and get a couple of things.
That's
did
not gonna
that?
happen. You
What if they
did?
fill the cart up?
But that's not a first date. That was the first date?
Actually, it kind of was. It kind of was.
Man, kudos to you.
But here's,
You got
here's
brothers.
The thing, though. Here's the thing, though. You know how I knew that she was a good one? Because she didn't take advantage.
She
didn't
so
take
it's a
advantage.
test.
There was a couple
It
of
was
things
that.
I could have
Okay.
used.
Because now here's the thing. If I spend $300 on you at dinner,
Right.
that dinner, that's just going over there. But if I spend $300 on you at Target, you're going
I
to
like
think
that.
about me every time you go and run that bath because you're going to sit there and pour the bubbles in there. Or you're going to think about me when you're washing this or cooking this or whatever the case is.
So wait a minute. I heard you say it was a test.
He did.
We're testing women? Is that what men are doing? We're testing women?
It wasn't
Women
a test
testing
like
men all the
that,
time.
But
How?
but no, I'm gonna see if you're gonna take advantage, or are you just gonna be like, all right,
I don't
nah,
want to
whatever.
play games.
No, it's not a game.
It's a game. If
No, it's
we're
not a
playing a
game.
test, if you're putting a test out there, then yeah, it's playing a game. For me, I think it's a game.
Having a certain requirement for dinner is a test.
No, I don't have a
No,
requirement.
that's not a requirement.
I don't
Or
have a
test.
requirement about where we go. I have a requirement for a man to take accountability and plan a date. That I do have a requirement.
Okay.
So
We-
if a
we need to
man,
do that.
let's be clear,
Yeah.
if a man reached out to me and we were talking and we exchanged numbers or whatever, and he was like, hey, you want to go for coffee on such and such? I'm not going to toot my nose up and be like, oh, no, we can't go for coffee. Yeah, I will go. But I haven't been presented with that opportunity. If you say, I want to take you out to dinner or drinks, then yes, I want to go to dinner or drinks. Don't take me to Ben's Chili Bowl. I don't want to go to Ben's Chili Bowl. Number one, if you get to know me, you would know I'm not the type of person that likes stuff like that. But you could take me to a taco stand on Connecticut Avenue that I absolutely love. That closes at what?
But you
2,
just
3
said a
o'clock
key
in the
thing,
morning?
though. So you just said something very key. If you get to know me. So if I did take you to Ben's Chili Bowl, you can't really hold that against the guy because he didn't know that you.
So
didn't
how
like
does that
Ben.
date get set up? Are you asking me how do I feel
Nah,
about Ben's
look,
Chili
like
Bowl, or
my
you
man
just
just
gonna
said
take me?
Well, you said you don't ride with people, so they got to tell you the destination. So I guess in that case, you're gonna
Yeah,
you're gonna
in
say,
my
nah,
experience,
I
yeah.
don't do Ben's.
Right.
Because I don't feel like I should automatically be comfortable with getting in a car with a man that I don't know. And I would teach that to any young woman to be precautious about letting a man know where you live, only because of the society that we live in today. I think back in the
Absolutely.
day it was cool
No, I agree.
to pick people up and be able,
Right,
like half of the
right.
time you're not even giving a nigga your real phone number for real. You know what I mean? Until they, and I guess I'm shooting myself in the back because that is a test. You don't get the real phone number
Right.
until you've gone through the process of me feeling like I
What
can.
number
Yeah,
do you
people are
get?
too volatile
They
these
talk
days.
long enough and they tell on themselves.
Yeah, what number do you get?
I have a trap number.
You got a trap phone?
I have a trap phone number and a trap phone.
Okay.
Allegedly.
It ain't a legend.
So the world
One for
knows
the
now.
load and one
They
for
got
the.
the fake number.
It's not fake. It's
I mean,
mine.
number.
It's real.
It's the Google number.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
It's real. It ain't fake. It belongs to me. Got my
Right.
name on it. It's not fake. It's just not my
It
direct
rings, I
line.
pick
It's
up.
not the hotline. It's not the
Right.
real blink.
Whoa, hotline. That is the hotline. The trap phone is the hotline.
Okay.
No, but I think, I don't know about you. Have you been invited to coffee? And I know we
Yeah,
stuck on
I
coffee
like-
for a second, but I want to know.
Yeah, I've been invited to coffee, and I usually pick up. I don't pick a name brand place like it's a bakery, little coffee shop. There's a New Orleans based one in Columbia that I like to go to, and it's just the same vibe as Starbucks, but has a different menu. They
So
offer
why I
tea,
never
coffee,
been
all
invited
that
for
stuff.
coffee?
Cause you present that coffee ain't gonna get it done.
How? When you meet me day one, I'm not non-coffee presenting.
You don't look like you don't like coffee. You might look like Kahlua.
And in
They
the
put
summer,
Kahlua in
you go
coffee.
to tropical smoothie or
Yeah.
smoothie place.
Well, I just do
cream
Starbucks,
shop.
but yeah, something where you know, look,
Have a
I ain't-
moment to connect.
I don't have to examine this bill, right? I don't have to examine this bill. It's gonna be $20, and
What's
we did
the
it.
examining of the bill about?
To make
I'm
sure they
just-
ain't overcharge me or give me somebody else's
Is that
bill.
all we're looking for?
'Cause
Let's be honest. Take
that's what-
accountability.
So I'm not gonna hold you. I've been out before and gotten somebody else's bill.
Okay.
So I always look at the bill. Now,
True.
here's the thing. I don't study the bill.
Right.
Because, I mean, gentlemen, I'm going to give y'all a little tip, those watching out here. When you go out with the woman on a date, whatever form of payment you're going to use, if it's a card, just make sure that that card is free and clear. You got X amount of limit on it, so that way when the bill comes, you could glance at it, but don't even check for nothing. Just pull the card out, put it in the joint, and slide it right back while the person is still there, because that's going to show the woman, oh, this motherfucker.
Oh, you shouldn't even be out if you gotta be wondering if we gonna go over my limit.
But
I mean, not just being honest.
when you got,
But
Or you
shit
shouldn't be where you going.
when you got
Shit
when you got
happens.
people going out with people, and they're going over $97 bills.
Right.
Listen, that was an isolated motherfucking incident, and believe me, it never happens again.
But I'm just saying, so that incident, yes, you shouldn't be.
I don't really have an issue, but I'm a dude. He could have been an accountant. I don't know.
Who?
I don't know why he looked at the bill
with?
that long. He could just be an accountant.
It's a difference between looking at the bill and studying the bill.
Right.
But that wasn't my issue. The issue was after looking at the bill and studying the bill and dissecting the bill.
What he
then
said
you
after
had
that.
dialogue
Right. Okay.
after that I just didn't find savory
I
for
I have
me.
a question, ladies. This goes out to both of you.
Okay.
If you're on a date that you agreed to go to, whatever kind of restaurant it is, and let's say it wasn't a top of the line restaurant, but it wasn't no Red Lobster either. And you get there, you enjoyed the conversation, you enjoyed the food, you enjoyed everything about it. The bill comes and he pays with a Groupon.
I've had that happen to me before.
Y'all okay with that?
I'm fine with it. That means you know how to
I
save.
asked that question
Thank
a lot,
you.
and there were a lot of women out there who were like, "Oh no, on a first date, absolutely not," or don't, or on a date with
Then
me.
they're
don't you
not
date with
living
me.
in a real world. This is inflation. It's
I'm just
listen,
asking the question.
I don't care if you got the coupon coming out your pocket. It's being paid for. However, you got a Groupon, whatever. You're saving money. You're
with him.
frugal.
Are y'all telling the
you're
truth?
smart.
Now I had that happen to me before.
But are y'all being honest? Like y'all wouldn't look at this guy
No,
any different?
that ass.
No,
no.
Okay.
So
If I offer to take you out, and I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna pay with a Groupon.
okay, that's a whole nother topic. I'm not even
I
gonna get
wouldn't
into
care.
that.
Like, honestly speaking,
Really, you got an issue with that?
I don't care how the bill gets
On
paid.
a first date, she's not taking nobody out.
Oh no, not on the first date.
No.
No.
Oh, but she didn't say the first date. She
I
just
didn't
said if
say
she
the first
invited
date.
you out.
How many
Salute
dates
to the women
was
that
it?
take men out on first dates and pay
Salutes.
for everything. I've been there.
I mean, if you got it like that, and that's what you choose to do, that's on you.
Those are the women that actually like you.
What?
That actually like.
To take you out on a first date, that means
get
they actually
triggered.
like
Yes.
you?
Yes.
First of all, you're not the girlfriend.
No,
I'm not
it's-
taking you.
You're not
out
What I'm-
there
what
in
I'm- what I'm
TV
saying-
land.
What I'm saying is there are women
Where they at?
that
Where are
they
they
at,
at? I need to know where they at too.
Where they at though?
I'm
Because
not-
I don't
That
know
take men out on
nobody
first
in my
dates?
circle
Yeah.
who's doing
Of course
it.
there are.
So listen,
Where
I've
they
got
at?
I don't know.
I've got to take. Listen,
I just know that
I
they're
got
out there.
taken out on the first day. I met a girl. Like maybe 2-3 days later, she hits me up, said, "Hey, listen, let's go out." Took me to like the Sony IMAX movie theater or whatever.
fancy.
Took me out to some like hookah spot, and then took me out to some hibachi spot afterwards. Like every time that I went to go reach for something, no, don't worry about it, I got you. Don't worry about it, I got
happened?
you.
It ain't
Why'd you
tricking
let her
if you
go?
got it.
Why'd you let her go?
She wanted kids.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you don't want children
No,
at all?
no.
Nothing's gonna change your mind. Not even WAP.
No, if I become a multi-millionaire, then I would because at the end of the day I want whoever carries my child, I want to like be able to provide like a full-time nanny and the whole
Like
nine.
that. So are you cut off to having children in general, or until you get to a certain point where you're financially able?
Until I meet a woman who I feel is deserving to carry my seed.
Ooh,
And that's how it should
nothing
be.
wrong
Like
with
they say that
that.
there are a lot of men that are sperm donors. There are a lot of women who are incubators,
I agree.
And,
Strong J.
and it takes a special type of woman to take me out of the paint at this point in my life.
Oh,
I like it.
this
I like
this
it. I
40
love
and
that for
over
you.
experience.
Worth.
So no kids.
No, sir.
No kids.
Damn, you put that on me?
No, I'm asking. I don't know
That
anybody
would be
here.
Asking.
That would be accurate.
I don't know anybody here. I don't know. And how about yourself? If you don't mind me asking. I'm
3.
sorry. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Marv said.
Said, boy.
Marv said you skipped over him.
Right.
He actually has 12
My
children.
fault. My fault.
He has 12 children on the ground.
He's like, don't
I
let
live
these sleepy eyes
vicariously
fool
through
you.
him. When people say, "Oh, when are you having kids?" That's my child, and I'm a
doubt.
grandfather. He has.
He said, I get
Dogs
it in.
are
Don't
great
fool you.
children.
Yeah.
I know we kind of went down
Yeah.
the rabbit hole, but I think it's good conversation because, so let me not assume how many people here are single say I.
I.
Okay, great. We have a
How
great
many
crowd.
people are very single?
I.
Okay. Gotta check.
So what's very single?
Single is not very single. Single is, I got, but
Very single means that
it ain't.
I can post women of women on
Yeah,
my
yeah,
social
yeah. I'm
media.
very single.
I can
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Very single means I'm not committed to
Nobody's
nobody.
gonna see
I'm not
this.
in a relationship with nobody.
Right.
Nobody thinks that they're in a relationship with
Right,
me
right,
either.
Right.
Very single
That's
means
it.
nobody's going to see this and be like, "What you mean you single?"
Right.
Right.
That's very
That
single.
isn't that a
You
relationship
can
though?
come on
That's
over
very
and spend the
single.
night
No, I'm
and
saying
stay
that's very
type
single when there's
That's
no
what
one
I'm
that's
talking
going to
about.
see it
Yeah.
and say that. I don't have anybody out there in TV world that's going to see me say I'm single and say, "What you mean you single?"
Right.
Well, they would think they were in a relationship. So okay,
That's what I'm saying.
don't
It's
have
not
that.
anyone out there.
let me bring
But
that
I'm
to
single,
another
single,
topic.
single.
Let me bring that to another topic of discussion.
Okay.
Do men make women feel by their actions, not by their words, that they are giving examples of we're in a relationship, but their words are saying, no, I'm not ready for a relationship?
All the
By
time.
their actions and not by their words.
All the
Right.
time.
Their words are like, I'm not in a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm not looking for X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. But then they doing everything like they're in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Their actions.
Practice
how they
makes
move
perfect.
in. Yeah.
I guess I would have to say yes.
But for
Yes,
some women,
what?
That can be confusing.
Men probably do that. I don't know that they knowingly do that, but I would say they probably do that.
How do you not knowingly do that? If you're showing...
Because a man is it just okay. I got sisters, right?
How to treat a woman.
If my sister needs me to do something, if my sister needs something, I'm gonna help my sister. Or if I'm dealing with a woman and she needs something, or she needs me to do something, then that's just me as a man. I'm gonna do that. Now, how you perceive those actions is different. If you perceive those actions to be those of a boyfriend, what can I do about that? That's just how I move, right? So that's why I say sometimes it's not knowingly. If your car broke down on the side of 270, I'm coming, right? If we were
I know
dating
who
or
the
even
car.
seeing each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you say, "Oh, my light's about to get cut off," and I can help you, I'm gonna help you. Now, how do you perceive that stuff that I'm doing?
But I think that also goes back to the conversation of the topic of communication. I can sit here and do everything for you, but unless we've had a conversation that stated I'm your man and you're my woman,
But
So-
are we really having conversations?
Yes.
Like, are we together?
Well, the
Are
guy
we
is
not
saying
together?
he's
we had a
not.
conversation of
The guy's telling you he's not trying to do that. Or
But then you want to come to my house every day, or you want to
So
do
those are the
things
things
like
you're
we're in a
talking about.
relationship. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
want to do things like we're in a relationship. Like I find, based off of experience and based off of conversations with people that I know of all age groups, mainly over 40, is that there is a comfortability sexually that they don't want to use condoms. So that's a whole nother topic
But
of
no,
conversation.
absolutely not. You should be doing that if you're not in a relationship.
But
I don't even think you should be having sex that often. I'll go that far
Speak for
if you're
yourself,
not in a relationship. I'm just telling, because I think that kind of adds to what she's
it
saying.
does.
For women, not for men, for women. That adds
as long
to.
as long as you're wearing a condom, you're fine.
I'm just being straightforward. Like that
It's-
takes
it's-
women somewhere else.
Well, and so that's what I'm saying, right?
It's the raw dick that does that. Once you take the condom off, that's when it does that.
So
But if
when
you-
you,
but-
so let's start there. Now you have gotten to a point
Right,
where you're
that's
comfortable
it.
with that person, where now you have taken said condom off, and now woman is thou receiving raw dick.
Right.
So now she's
That's
like-
what makes them go crazy.
So
Oh, yeah,
a person
yeah,
told
yeah.
me a long time ago that's a transfer of energy, right? Women are naturally
Transfer energy
receivers.
way before that. I'm sorry.
You think we do?
Oh, most definitely.
Women are receivers and men are givers. So everything that a man goes through, he empties into a woman when he releases. So it's a stress reliever for a man.
I pull out, man.
But a woman receives all of that, right? And so we kind of hold on to all of that. So from what I was told by a person that I used to date was like, when you take intimacy to a different level, a woman expects a man to be in a different demographic for her intimately versus what it was before y'all got to that level. So if we take protection out of it and you're having unprotected sex with somebody that you're singly dating, the woman's perception is that, oh, we've moved to another level, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, let's go back to action. So the action of unprotected sex made the woman feel that now you have moved to another level.
Absolutely.
But then when the man be like, nah, but we just, we still ain't
Nah,
ready
but
for
you got some guys that now, come on, they playing both sides of the fence. You got to be able to recognize that as a woman, especially I feel like as a woman over 40.
When you say play both sides,
There's a lot of dialogue that needs to occur before
he's
any of
saying
that
we not
happens.
together,
never mind.
but he doing together stuff.
I thought you were talking about something else.
No.
Both sides playing
No,
both sides.
no.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, not at all. But no, if he's doing things but saying something different, then yeah, I get that, and women need to be able to kind of see that and say, nah, this is not going to work for me. It's not working for me.
So if we had to sum it all up in regards to
The gaps.
the gaps,
It's a lot.
right?
Wild.
It's wild?
Yes.
The conversation?
No.
What? What's
We'll
wild?
talk later.
Okay. If we had to sum it all up, we do agree as a collective that there is a big gap between male and female interactions, right?
Huge.
Okay. So now that we've established that that is the norm, how do we get past it? I know we went kind of into some banter about relationships and dating and things like that, but that's all included, right? So I feel like all of these conversations, even though we have a list of topics we can probably go through, once we start talking, it turns into something else, because this is supposed to feel like a conversation on the couch, whether you in a cookout, whether you at a happy hour. Like, I want everybody here and the viewing audience to feel comfortable enough to laugh and also give some candid conversations about what they've experienced. So if we dive back into the topic of conversation about bridging those gaps, what do you think are some things that we could do to bridge those gaps? Because we've identified that it's communication, accountability, comprehension, $250,
On the first date. Don't put me out there
Setting
like that.
realistic
On the first date.
expectations. He
On the
wants to
first
set
date.
realistic
I'll
expectations.
spend the $250. I'm just saying on the first date.
Okay. Is that okay? We'll get
Because
into
what do
that.
they say? Once you start, you can't stop.
You can't stop.
You gotta maintain it the whole way through. So he's setting realistic expectations.
I think it's a balance. It's a balance.
We gotta find it,
what do
though,
you,
so
what do you
let's
think
start
are
out-
some,
Yeah.
what do you think are some things that we could do to mend those?
We got to go back to the basics.
Which are?
We got it's TMI. There's too much information out here now. We know love languages and red flags and yada yada yada. And I'm not saying to not pay attention to those things, but don't let those things stop you from trying to at least get to know somebody, right? Because a lot of times, I don't want to go down the wormhole again, but I'm sure everybody heard the young lady that said she's only dating guys that come from a 2-parent household.
I heard that
Right,
today.
so I ain't even gonna go down that. 'Cause
That's a whole nother
ridiculous,
episode, right?
But if you are doing that right out the gate, if you put that filter on it, who are you going out
Right.
with? Right. So I'm saying let's start peeling back some of this stuff and try to connect again,
Okay.
and then build. Right. Don't go in it with this. Well, this has to be this and that has to be this. And,
Healed, though.
So go into it with an open mind and don't have these
less
stereotypical expectations.
because we're getting all of it from social media.
You said go into things healed. That's what you would say.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
thing. People get into these situations and they're still damaged from whatever situationship, relationship, past trauma messed them up. So now they're holding that, moving forward, and then you got to let that shit go, let that hurt go.
Therapy is important, my friends. So we'd like to hear what you have to say in the comments. We're going to talk more about this on a future episode.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your time.
Definitely.
I enjoyed it.
And we'll talk soon.
Definitely. Thank you for tuning in to the 40 and Over experience. This is Nia B. We'll catch you next time. Ciao.